I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm going to have to do a whole political news time podcast about Dr. Drew. Really, I'm just going to touch on him tonight. Barely just touch on him because that's how hot he is. And I don't mean that in a sexual way. I mean, he's an attractive man. He actually, when I look at Dr. Drew, he's kind of like a gray-haired Clark Kent from my perspective. He's you can just tell he's a very evolved human being, extremely so, very empathetic and very analytical, and I think a very caring person. I've watched him for many years. I'm sure many of you out there have, and there's been so many occasions to where I've seen him on shows to where he could have just railed into whoever it was that he was talking to, but because he embodies so much class and grace, he didn't. And you can actually see an example of that on my Twitter account as of this evening at Alex Mayers Live. I posted a video clip of Dr. Drew having a bit of a conversation with a woman named Dawn and another woman who appeared on that show simultaneously, who has since departed from our reality, from our world, known as Shelley. Dawn said something to Dr. Drew on that show that I could tell really rubbed him the wrong way, but he didn't let on to it. But I have a feeling that even if it's just in like a microcosmic part, a part of the reason that it has been announced as of just a few days ago, the article I found in regards to Dr. Drew on thehill.com was just posted January 8th. I think in part he's considering entering the political foray in Southern California because of individuals such as Dawn and there being an extensive problem in the entertainment industry that needs to be addressed and resolved when it comes to people who are mentally ill being horrifically exploited.
And I worry about the people that are being exploited to develop these films. Now, some of them feel good about it, but a lot of them don't. I've treated a lot of them. So it's something's not right with all this, and that's my position. It's not clear.
Do you think the people are being honest with you that you've treated?
When they're being exploited, yeah, when they feel terrible and they're sex addicted and their relationships are a mess and they're miserable, yeah, I think they're being honest with you. The ones that seem to be so happy about their careers, I have my doubts. I think eventually that's a house of cards that will fall. So there are people, that other people are using for their own benefit that are really being exploited by this, and that's a concern, right?
There has been a major mental illness problem within Hollywood and the adult entertainment industry, which is the adult entertainment industry really is just a sect of Hollywood. But there's been a problem when it comes to mental illness in that world and people being exploited for so many years. I mean, it's so bad that mentally ill people in Hollywood are not only being coddled and condoned, but they're being turned into predators. I mean, look at people like Scott Baio. Look at people like Todd Bridges. Look at the lawyers that exploit and feed off of their mental illness. There's a lot of them. And then look at when mentally ill people encounter each other and combine forces and just the horrific trauma it causes to sane, vulnerable individuals, such as Nicole Eggert. Nicole Eggert is extremely sane. A lot of you may remember her from Baywatch, the first season. I think the second season too. But because of bullying that she's been forced to endure publicly from mentally ill individuals, she's been led to question her own sanity, and she shouldn't. Because there's nothing wrong with her. But there's something tremendously wrong with the people who don't want her to share her story and to tell the truth of what she's endured and what's criminally even encouraged a lot of mental illness. But anyway, Dr. Drew, I think, is going to swoop in. He's going to take off his his Clark Kent glasses, throw on his Superman cape, his political Superman cape, and I think he's going to help a lot of people. I think so. And I'm very excited about it. Very excited about it. And I almost wonder if he saw my tweet on December 29th. Because I did tweet. I was just feeling I was feeling very upset in regards to Shelley Lubin that particular night. And just lies that have been consistently told about her. And something told me within, tweet Dr. Drew. And I did. And I was like, Dr. Drew, you've got to do something. I think a lot of people have probably approached him lately saying, you've got to do something, because he knows what's what. He really does. He's tried to help people over the years. He's tried to play the game. He's had his rehab celebrity shows. He's had Love Line. He's given some tremendous advice, but I feel like the entertainment industry has exploited and trivialized him. And I think that him entering the political sphere would be a way for him to undo that in a way. Because he wasn't just entertaining us by trying to share how to properly live life. He was trying to teach us, trying to educate us. And I feel like not enough people really listened. But if he becomes a politician, he's going to rise in the ranks very, very quickly. Very quickly. And that could mean a lot of trouble for a lot of people linked to organized crime and fraud and essentially the mafia within the entertainment industry, especially the adult entertainment industry. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, so I got these insoles in here. These sneakers feel brand new. Ooh, I can't wait to test them out. I can't wait. That'll be tomorrow. So let's see. Is there anything else I want to talk about in this Saturday Night Excitement podcast? Anything else? Let's see. No, he's not a new Dr. Phil. Someone in the chat room is like, oh, he must be a new Dr. Phil. No, he is actually, from my perspective, nothing like Dr. Phil. I would not want Dr. Phil to go into politics. I have my reasons as to why I feel that way, which I will not discuss tonight. But I do want Dr. Drew to go into politics. But we'll talk about all that another day. All of that another day. You know what? I think I'll close this podcast by reading the article about Dr. Drew that I tweeted, because I think it's important for people to hear what he had to say. I definitely do. Dr. Drew is actually a very good answer to Trump. And I think he's a Republican. I'm not sure. I think Dr. Drew is a Republican. As many of you know, historically I've been a Democrat. But Dr. Drew is the kind of Republican that I could get on board with. I'll tell you, if it were not for the condoned racism by the GOP, I could easily be a Republican. But as long as that kind of mental illness is accepted, I can't get on that GOP train. Not at all. Candace Owens, I think she's going to be a solo woman of color for the GOP for quite some time until they can clean that shit up. But anyway, okay. So this is an article from The Hill, Pinsky.com. It was posted January 8th, and it's titled, Dr. Drew Talks Potential Congressional Run Against Schiff, but only if he has to. Yeah. And I can tell he doesn't really want to, because he's got a nice life. But he's saying that he feels morally motivated, and I like that phrase, morally motivated. Yeah. The next prescription, Dr. Drew Pinsky writes, might be for his own congressional run in Southern California. Quote, I wake up every day and drive through this town, and I am morally moved, where I feel I have to do something. End quote. The famed addiction medicine specialist and former Loveline host tells ITK. Quote, we have people literally dying in our streets, he says, contending the Los Angeles County and statewide government is not functioning. Quote, people have been sort of swirling around me, going, oh, you should run for mayor. Well, I didn't really want that job. Well, you should run for governor. Well, that's not really possible. So I was sort of thinking about these things, said Pinsky, who spoke last month about homelessness and drug abuse at a mental health summit at the White House. With a political run on the brain, he says the televised impeachment hearings may have jolted him even more into the idea of trading medicine for a House bid. I was watching all the impeachment proceedings, and I was going, oh my God, our Congress is tied up and we're dying out here in California. What are these people doing? Pinsky, 61 years old, says he soon realized he's lived for 20 years in Pasadena in House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff's district. I thought, oh my God, I have to run for that office at least just to get him to start participating in the governance of this region. The celebrity doctor says right now he's only ruminating about a potential run, and he might end up taking the plunge in a few years. Pinsky says he's very moderate and constantly changes his political party affiliation online. But if he were to wade into politics, he'd likely run as a Democrat in California's jungle primary against Schiff. The 10-term lawmaker won his 2018 re-election bid in California's 28th district with 78% of the vote. While his core issues would be infrastructure, tackling homelessness, and aiding the chronically mentally ill, Pinsky makes clear he would be a reluctant candidate. Believe me, I don't want to, he says of a possible run for Congress. Quote, I'd have to change my whole life, and I'm not really prepared to do that just yet, the father of 3 adds. Asked what he'd tell critics who might roll their eyes at another famous name thinking they can make it in politics, Pinsky replies, I would say my eyes are rolling too. I'd rather not be here. Point me in another direction where we can help the citizens of California, please. I'm all ears. But the fact that I keep thinking about it tells me how profound the problems are, he said. That I feel obliged to maybe turn my life upside down just to get things governed out here. I'm constantly morally mobilized because of the condition of what's going on here in California. Woo! Yeah! That's Dr. Drew. And that's the future. That is the future of politics. People who have power, who are living a fairly comfortable life, who think that they've done everything that they can possibly do, but who open the door, step outside, take a look around, and say, what the hell is going on? And it's time that I do something about it. Yes. 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 There's going to be quite a few interesting people who enter politics over the next few years. That's part of the reason I put together politicalnewstime.com, which please, will all of you go to politicalnewstime.com and click on subscribe to my YouTube so that I can grow that channel and so we can get the word out about some of these things. Because I know a lot of you out there watch me, but it's like, I don't ask y'all for donations or money or anything. I'm not even selling anything as of current, but you're not really supporting me enough, even though you agree with me. So please start supporting me more. Otherwise, I'm just not even going to talk to you when you do reach out to me. That's going to be how it goes. Because I don't like people who think that it's okay to quietly support me, but not openly support me. For a while, I condoned it. I was like, all right, you know, whatever. But I'm to the point now to where it's like, put up or shut up. Don't be afraid to be my friend on Twitter, yet try to tell a mutual friend, oh, tell her I said thanks for talking about that. Because I'm not going to do that shit anymore. Or support anyone who lives their life thinking that that kind of mentality is acceptable. Sometimes people wonder why their life is shitty. Sometimes people wonder, gosh, why do these bad things keep happening to me? It's because you don't treat people the way that you want to be treated. That's why. That's why. You got to treat people right. You really do. And I'm not a hypocrite when I say that. I know in the past, I didn't treat certain people in my life right, but I've made amends for that. And I've openly talked about that. And I've apologized for everything I've needed to apologize for in my life. I walk a very carefree life nowadays. But I know a lot of you out there who watch me don't. And 2020 is going to be a little bit different than 2019. It's going to be a little different. I just want to read, before I go, the tweet that I did post to Dr. Drew on the 29th, because I think it's important for many of you to hear. Here it is, December 29th, 2019. I wrote, Dr. Drew, you've got to do something. I believe organized crime in the pornography industry didn't only stalk Shelley Lubin and her daughter till the days they died. I believe both Shelley and her daughter were murdered. Ari Scott Bass, aka Michael Whiteacre, is close to Hirsch. Yeah. So we'll leave it at that for tonight. Thanks everyone for joining me and keeping me company. I appreciate anyone and everyone who may have participated in tonight's chat.